A married woman in her 20s who wants to get her tubes tied. A married woman in her 40s who wants to make the decision whether or not to have kids. Meet Megan and Maxine. Megan, now 28, is steadfast in her pursuit of permanent sterilization. Maxine, now 48, is vacillating about becoming a parent. Both are featured in a new documentary, To Kid or Not to Kid, which explores a subject that is still tied up in taboo and social stigma: women who choose not to have children. The film is one of the first to take an in-depth look at the child-free and its growing community. It comes at a time when many women are spending around $10,000 a pop, plus storage costs, to freeze their eggs. Since a young age, Meghan Turner has known that she does not want to have children. But she waited until she was 25 to start the process of getting on a list for a procedure called tubal ligation, commonly known as getting your tubes tied. Earlier would have been a nightmare, Turner told DailyMail.com. They would have laughed me out of the room, I think. I was 25, 26, 27 doing it and they were still I think everyone was afraid of being sued, to be honest. In the documentary, the viewer meets Turner as she leaves a medical appointment. A manager for a pharmacy, Turner has been married since she was 21 and lives with her husband in Wales. After meeting with her general practitioner, she was referred to a larger hospital that has a gynecology department and is looking to get on a list for the tubal ligation surgery. Her consultation with doctors for the sterilization procedure was not great. I went in and they sit me in the same waiting room where all the pregnant ladies are, which was kind of awkward, Turner says in the film. I've been for probably 4 or 5 months preparing for this. I had brought in a 3-page, document that I had written up the night before with citations on it. The doctors tell her that there are other options, such as birth control, but Turner is looking for something permanent. Look, I'm not coming in here seeking an operation, I'm coming in here seeking a permanent form of sterilization, she tells the doctors. If I could get that in a pill I would obviously take the pill. I'm not keen to be cut open. I said to them, in no uncertain terms cause I don't like to mix words, I was like I would rather die on the operating table than have a baby. Share this article. Share in the film, Turner explains why she wants the surgery. I'm trying to lessen the damage that I do by not having an unwanted kid. With my mom, she was way too young to have me, and she never got to live the life that she could have, she says. Speaking with DailyMail.com, Turner said that she knew from the around aged 7 that she didn't want to be a mother. My mom was a single mom and she did absolutely the best she could, and she was a good mom, but I could see the strain it had on her, she said. So even in my 7- and 8-year-old mind, I was bargaining down going, oh, I only want to have one kid, so it'll less stressful, because I didn't even realize at the age of 7 and 8 that having no kids as an option. It's kind of always been in the back of my mind. Turner, who is Canadian-British, met her husband, who is Welsh, when she was 19. I was upfront with him. I was like, look, this is how I feel, and that's fine if you feel differently, but I can tell you definitively now, I'm not going to change my mind, she recalled. I definitively know that I don't want to have kids, and my husband supports me in that. In the United States, an estimated 13.4% of women have undergone tubal sterilization from 2011 to 2015, the most recent data available, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. a little over 3%, had a hysterectomy and 2.3% had other operations, according to the data. Tubal ligation is a safe and effective surgical procedure that permanently closes or blocks your fallopian tubes, which means that a sperm can't get to an egg and cause pregnancy, according to Planned Parenthood's website. While Turner was categorical that she wanted to be sterilized, Maxine Trump, the documentary's director and one of its subject, was searching for an answer on whether or not she wanted to have kids. She started looking for stories similar to her own. Essentially, there was no other film out there like this that would really help me in processing and making my decision, Trump told Daily Mail. Trump started thinking about the child choice in her 30s. I finally finished my last film, and I was like, okay, Maxine, you're now in your early 40s, you need to make a decision, and so there I was picking up my camera, Trump, now 48, recalled. It took 5 years to complete the film. She started shooting in early 2013 and finished it a few weeks before its recent world premiere at the Nick Film Festival. It's the longest gestation period ever, she quipped, then laughed. The film opens with Trump, who is showing her scars across her stomach from an operation that she had at aged 15 after it was discovered she had trouble with her womb. She explains that she never dreamed of having children, but she also never thought she would end up walking down the aisle. Turner, who is British, married her husband, Josh Granger, who is American. They didn't talk about kids before getting married. Trump, who has lived in New York City for 15 years, is then off to Wales to see her family. Trump explains in the film that she had a religious upbringing and that her sister, who offered to carry a child as a surrogate for her, is a preacher. Throughout the film, Trump talks with her mom and her family about whether or not to have kids. In the course of film, Trump also travels to different parts of the United States while she contemplates her decision. She flies to New Orleans to interview Victoria Elder, a mother who penned a post about regretting having children. Elder says she was initially very excited when she found out she was expecting at age 29 and that there was an expectation that she would have kids. "You're not a real woman unless you have a baby," she says. But after she gives birth and her daughter is handed to her, Elder says, "I know I made a huge mistake." Elder told The Guardian last year that the mistake she felt was becoming a mother and made clear that loved and cared for her daughter. Trump also interviews Elder's daughter, Morgan, who says that it's still a taboo to say you regret having children. In the U.S., a total of 3,855,500 births were registered in 2017, down 2% from 2016, according to government data. Birth rates for both married and unmarried women declined from 2016 to 2017, according to the November 7 report. In the film, Trump takes a look at the baby economy, which is lucrative, and she calls it a little insane. In 2013, $23 billion was spent on baby products in the U.S., a number that doubles to $66. $8 billion in 2017. In addition to New Orleans, Trump heads to Cleveland for the first ever Not Mom Summit in October 2015. The Not Mom is an organization for women that are not moms either by choice or by chance, according to their website. Launched in 2012, it is a blog and a resource for women and is making connections for the growing community of women without children through its events. 1 out of every 6 American women is child-free or childless, according to the Not Mom site. Speaking with DailyMail.com, Trump said that the Not Mom Summit may not continue because marketers don't see the benefit in supporting people that are making the decision not to have children, and yet there's such much expendable income when you haven't had to pay a fortune on childcare and child-rearing. I really hope it continues, because there's a real need for it. During the film, Trump and her husband, Josh Granger, who also co-produced the doc, share intimate moments in their discussions about whether or not to have kids. It was hard for us both to eventually put ourselves on camera. You know, I make documentaries because I like being behind the camera, Trump explained.